Welcome and again, happy Father's Day. We're very happy you're here, and I'm incredibly pleased to be able to introduce today's event and the people who will perform for and speak to you. 1 Billion Fathers Rising is not just happening here in America, in Western Massachusetts, but there is a similar event dedicated to raising boys into men who will respect all girls and women that is taking place in Burundi in Africa. In the hope of Umoja, the sponsoring organization today, which has organized both events, is that this movement will grow. Dorothy Dinnerstein, in her seminal work about gender entitled The Mermaid and the Minotaur, said, "Until men nurture children, there will always be war." To which I would add, until men nurture children, there will always be violence against women. It is way past time for we men to shoulder the responsibility for enculturating our boys into a society that honors girls and women and treats them all with dignity and respect.
So the first thing I say to dads is to just show up. That's half the battle. That's half the battle at my job, is to just show up. Show up and be a dad. You don't need to know what to do when you get there. Is every day I leave the house, my daughter has a ritual. She's 4 years old, and she has a ritual that we go through to say goodbye. And it takes about 5 minutes, but it's sometimes the highlight of my day. And you'll create those experiences and opportunities by just showing up.
Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Oh, divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved.
It takes. We will surround the White House and Capitol for as long as it takes and demand that the gun factories be closed down, as well as the wars and bloated, obscene military budget, so that all that money could be spent on more teachers and aides, mentors and mental health counselors, recreation facilities and jobs, so that young men could grow into manhood with all the support they need to know how to treat others with respect and caring, and not try to resolve life's challenges by striking or shooting another human being.
Going on too. So here at Phallacies, we've decided that what we need to do is we've created a sort of a primer for men on how to hug. And we want to present that to you today. And we're very, very fortunate. These two men here are certified hugologists. Okay. Our first hug is the A-frame hug.
Hey, what's up?
Our next hug is the back slap hug.
How's it going, man? What's up?
This hug, also known as the I'm hugging you, but I'm hitting you, man hug. And our final hug for this afternoon is the embrace.
Hey, what's up?
You know, there's a lot of people who are uncomfortable with the embrace. And I think it's important to ask them some questions why that might be. Why is it as men, we're more willing to embrace violence in our lives than we are each other? Why is it that we're more willing to embrace homophobia, which keeps us from touching each other at all and loving each other at all, than we are one another?
So I'm going to be doing a performance here to a song called Back to the Earth by Rusted Root. And I believe that violence against women, the violence in general in this world, is not only towards ourselves and each other, but also towards the earth itself. So I'm here to represent the violence ending against the earth as well.
that I am not here today to tell you more stories about men behaving badly, because the other reality that has been going on for over 30 years is that there have been men learning nonviolence. There have been men facing themselves and deciding it is time to make a change. And I thought it was important for us, if we want to really end violence against women, violence against children, and violence against other men, that we learn from the stories of the men who had been abusive, sometimes for decades, and were finally able to face themselves and to do the work they needed to do on a personal level, moral level, spiritual level, and behavioral practical level to stop their violence.
Never mind your fears. Brighter days will soon be here. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Yeah. Just wait and see, someday we'll all be free. Keep walking tall, hold your head up high, bear your dreams right up to the sky, play your greatest song, and you keep growing, growing on. Oh, take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Yeah. Just wait and see, someday we'll all be free.
I said I can do this because I'm not confused about what it takes to be a man. There are more things to being a man than playing the sport. You know, I want you to have emotion and other things. I fit this stereotype with the angry black male. I have to get through that. That was one of my things I had to deal with. To be big and black and nice smile fits a lot of stereotypes in this country. And fathers come in all shapes and sizes.
I want the world to be a better place for the children of tomorrow. Ajaja now. I want the world, yeah, now, to be a better place. Yes, I say now, for the children of tomorrow. Ajaja now. I let them play, let them play, let them play now. Cause they demand and woman of tomorrow.
It was because of the work that women had begun in the 70s that we realized as men that something had to be done from our point of view, from our perspective. We had to do our part in supporting the end of violence against women, and we felt that the best way to do that would be to work with men. And as I said before, it's not the cycle of love, it's not the cycle of cooperation. It will return because it's a mechanical process until you realize that you need to take some responsibility without blame and make choice to change. And that's where the MOVE program comes in.
Oh, and you won't be lonesome. You won't have to cry. I'll be here beside you just to wipe your weeping eye. And if you let me, baby, here's what I do. I take good care of you.
If you ever realize that there are two very different groups, the National Organization of Women and the FBI, and they estimate that in the United States there's a woman beaten every 1 to 4 minutes. And as we walk, I wonder, worried, What do I do to make the world better? What do I do to make a world for children where there will be a time for trees and timelessness for the untimed childhood that most of us once knew? Thank you.
This is the time to start for our fathers who are music to women, sons and daughters. This is the time right now for our mothers, sons and daughters to be given the dignity they deserve. This is the time.
But I grew up in a very violent family where I witnessed horrible events, and I questioned about fatherhood. I questioned whether I wanted to be like a type of father I saw in my village or in my community. So wondering, having questions, no answers, I came to realize that the world needed some love, some peace, unity, and I decided to change because change begins with me, with ourselves. So I'm so happy that today I can stand in Western Mass and then assuring you that there are millions of fathers across the globe who are taking this journey with us, who are transformed.
So in this case, what I want to ask people to do is just raise your hand. I, your name, pledge never to remain silent or commit or condone men's violence against women. This includes domestic and dating violence, rape and sexual assault, stalking, and all forms of sexism and misogyny. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to everybody.